How you doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
I hope you have a good day.
Hope you have a better week.
I hope your month is full of successful days and a lot of great ventures. I hope you just come up, brother.
I hope your whole fucking year is spectacular.
Oh, you hope my year is spectacular?
Yeah.
You got something you want to say?
You got something?
For next episode, there's been a lot of hoopla about nepotism in Hollywood, and really, I don't mind it at all. It gets us a lot of good things. I mean, it keeps our drinks cold. It gives you a nice fade, maybe a lineup. It gets you in the movies, of course, but it could also get you in a new career. You could like start owning your own restaurant. You might be able to teach in the military. You could really go really deep undercover as a cop. But it's not just family who does that for you. It's friends too. Like they can get you jobs across the country as a magazine editor, or maybe get you into college hoops programs. You know what? They might even write a book about you. But whether you love it, whether you hate it, whether nepotism comes easily for you or you have to beg and plead, it's going to be ingrained in this culture. So much so that you might even get invited into groups who you never thought would respect you. With that, for Matt Nose, for Andy Merriweather, for Matt Thomas, and what up, family? It's your boy Amadou. It is still Black History Month, and we are here. We are back with the next episode of One Gotta Stay. We're talking hood classics. Gonna present this illustrious panel with 4 choices and of some of our favorite hood movies, whether they be rom-coms or comedies or dramas. Some of us are very mad about it, but this is what we're here for. One stays, the rest go. But before we get into the nitty gritty, let me introduce the people who are here to talk about some of our favorites. And I'm going to go to the one person who I can call our token whites today, and she will own it, and it doesn't matter. We had to have one. So I brought her on, part of the Bitesize crew. This page for Betty.
Oh, so you start with the white person. Okay, let me see how it is.
Yes, I do.
This is exactly how I knew there's gonna be some bullshit. You immediately start this thing, you're gonna put the niggas on the back of the bus. You must be out your goddamn mind.
They go let nobody turn us around.
Guys, I'm the perfect person to talk about hood classics. So
perfect. I wanted to make you as uncomfortable as possible. How uncomfortable are you, and how ready are you for this?
I'm actually so ready. Guys, I'm from, you guys are all like West Coast and stuff, but I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts, like near Boston, but the area I live in, it's rough, man.
Sure, Paige. Sure.
I'm being serious though, guys. But yeah, no, I've seen all these movies. I like most of them, so it's gonna be a good time.
All right. Next to Paige in his the best outfit he always has, looking like combination a Shaft and Paul Pierce on a regular day. James, how you feeling?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. Happy to be here on this illustrious month of Black History to discuss these filmmakers.
All right. I'm happy to have you. Under him, already getting shit in the chat from the dude at work who was supposed to be here but couldn't. Ready, whether it's Uncle Ngani with his kufi, his everything on, ready to go. One Mr. Winston. Hey, Marshall Winston, how are you feeling today?
Look here, you little disrespectful nigga. I took my time out of my life. I stopped. That's one already. That's number 4. You are not paying attention, Chance.
I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention. Come on.
Brought drinking the rest of my white Hennessy. Got my fucking blunt. I'm here to tell you that I'm tired of your shit. I cannot get jiggy with this shit. Go ahead.
Well, he's ready to go.
That is 4. I can't count.
And last but not least, made his way through snow in Southern California. Fresh off the Hollywood Critics Association Awards last night, looking very dapper. Got to introduce the best actor in all. One, Mr. Kolby Mac. Kolby, great to have you back here. Thank you. Appreciate that you got home safely just to be here. How are you feeling, sir?
Yo, what up? It's your boy Kolby Mac, and I'm finally back. The one's got to stay. Yeah, I'm feeling good, bro. It's weird. It's supposed to be cold outside. Obviously, it's cold enough to be able to snow, but I'm from New York, so this is like, oh, It's doing this. I mean, there's ice on the front of like, our car, which is interesting to be able to kind of drive through and stuff like that. I think I went through 4 different weather events on my way from LA to Palm Springs. So that was interesting. But I wasn't that guy in the porch flooded on the 5. Did you see that?
The guy on the Porsche who tried to go to the right and he just on top of his car. I legit was like, I hope that's not Kolby. It probably is not Kolby.
No. I'm not driving a Porsche yet, Not yet.
Bro,
Keyword.
that by itself. I sent that over to the Negro in the comments talking shit already, and he was like, What's going on? I was like, we told you ain't no goddamn drainage in LA, bro. Everybody out here swimming and shit.
But speaking of ice, that's a perfect segue to who we're talking about today. We have 4 groups of just the progenitors of the culture, of hood classics, of Black movies and television. And we can only pick one group to stay. So the first we're choosing from is the O'Shea Jacksons, Ice Cube and Junior himself. They got, of course, the Friday franchise, Boys in the Hood. Straight out of Compton, the Jump Street films. Junior was on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you cannot forget about the classic that is All About the Benjamins. 15, 30, 37, and you know the rest. It's between them. Next up, we got the Wayans family, and that's all of the Wayans family, so including Junior with New Girl. In Living Color, which is a staple. You don't realize how much they control TV for a long time. The Wayans brothers, My Wife and Kids, go over to Don't Be a Menace, Blank Man, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, Hollywood Shuffle. If you don't save them, that's what you're losing. Then we got the drama provided by one Spike Lee joints. Of course, Do the Right Thing in Malcolm X. Down the Black Klansman, Jungle Fever, the original comedy. You forgot he directed that film as well.
The nigga did the Kings of Comedy?
He did. That's another
Nigga, take your card in. Come on.
Yes. And then last but not least, the Best Man cast. The main 9, basically our rom-com and romance films from forever. We got the Best Man franchise, Love and Basketball, 2 of my favorites in Brown Sugar in the Wood, Whoop That Trick himself in Hustle and Flow. Iron Man is included in this because, man, he was the first War Machine man. House still got a groove back. So fool.
And you forgot the Empire. You forgot the greatest criminal case of all time that came out of Empire, but not including that.
I did forget Empire. I did forget Empire.
Yeah, shit, I totally forgot about TV. Shit, I reevaluate my list. But nah, I'm good.
How did you?
That changes things. TV changes things.
I thought about movies. I thought about the movies.
It does.
How the fuck did you get about TV when he just said the Wayans literally dominated the Wayans brothers in the color?
I didn't have a lot of BET growing up. All right, I didn't have a lot of BET. All right, I had to come in that later in life, so I didn't think about the Black TV.
Nobody even said nothing about no BET. UPN, you ignorant motherfucker.
Bro, I wasn't around for UPN. Okay, I wasn't there.
You weren't there for You Pick a Nigga.
Wait, hold on, wait. How old are you?
He's a baby.
He is a baby.
You do realize he just dropped out of his daddy's nuts. He's barely been on this planet, bro.
I wasn't there for You Pick the Niggas. I can't help it. I wasn't there.
Speaking of the baby, you know what? We're just gonna get started. Chance, it's up to you, sir. Anyway, what is your number 4?
Look, y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead for what I'm doing. Mainly Winston, but it's the Wayans. Like, and this was the easiest kind of the entire list.
How fucking
wow.
dare you?
Look, as much as I love my wife and
fucking
kids,
dare you?
I don't think that. What?
But like a lot of that, look, let's be real, y'all. Let's get real for a second. A lot of these movies not very good. Like I'm fine losing this. Hey, you know what, Marlon, biggest sin against this. So you know what, you lose. You lose fucking
Amaru.
Dude, White Chick is one of the greatest movies ever, and I am a white chick, so I'm allowed to say that.
You do realize, in regards to cultural relevance, Marlon's probably number 2.
Oh yes,
right. You need to take
out of all the Wayans. Probably number 2.
You need to take Chance off of this panel immediately. He just gave his resignation from the black delegation in that speech right there. How fucking dare you?
No, man, I just look compare to the other ones. The Wayans, this is the weakest. Easy.
God, Chance. Keenan is number 1. Plain and simple.
Keenan.
The man wrote for me. Kenan's 1.
Bro, you do realize we could do a whole nother show just on ranking
Just
the
about
Wayans.
the Wayans. I agree.
We could.
Like, so that
Yeah,
tells you
check it out
why
later.
Chance has started out so badly that the
Absolutely.
Wayans themselves
Absolutely.
can deserve a whole nother show. Keenan, it's weird. They all went through stages, right? Keenan was number one, the earliest. He's the oldest, right?
Right. He
But
set- he
Damon
set
in the
stage,
late
yeah.
80s and 90s, bro.
Damon, I'll give you.
Absolutely. But like not
Bro,
even
My wife
Yo,
and kids in
Colby,
the
Colby,
early 2000s.
okay. Okay, I don't really fuck with my wife and kids. I don't dislike it. I just didn't watch it. I just didn't watch it. It's not that I had any beef against it. I just didn't watch it. I saw a few episodes. They were funny. They don't hit like me the way like Martin and Fresh Prince did, where I was like eating that up. You know what I'm saying? But I respect it. But just in Living Color by itself, we don't even need to get into anything else. Just in Living Color by itself, not only did it bring you some of the greatest Black comedians that we've ever seen, period. But if you lose the Wayans and you lose in Living Color, you have lost not only this family, you have lost Jamie Foxx, arguably the most talented person in Hollywood ever, because he literally does everything. And he has won. He hasn't EGOTed because he's not out here on stage like that. But my guy is out here winning all that shit, perfect impressions, all that. You lose Jim Carrey. White people would fucking burn this bitch to the ground without Jim Carrey.
You had me, then you lost me. I'm fine with Jim Carrey. I'm cool. Like, we're good.
How dare you again? Like, are you like, let alone things like The Mask and Ace Ventura, bro, but bringing us stuff like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
You didn't even think
I took this as, again, I just look at the movies. I wasn't even thinking about that. Again, Black people only do half the work for half the assignment. I only looked at the movies side of things. So again, by that logic, I'm not losing Jamie Foxx, I'm not losing Jim Carrey. I'm just talking about
you lose Jamie Foxx, you lose Jim Carrey, you lose J-Lo, you lose Paula Abdul because she really started popping off because of Tommy Davidson.
I wasn't thinking about Living Color. That's the reason I put Wayans at 4.
Here's the thing though. Like I get Winston, you're like, if they are not there, then you lose all these people. That's not how I see it, and being able to interpret this in different ways is the reason I'm also with Chance, because the Wayans are also my number.
Okay.
Man,
Well, so,
okay, wait.
Guys,
it's more like you don't get those films.
They're like, okay,
Here we
I'll
go.
let you. Yeah.
I absolutely love the Wayans. But Chance is right. If you objectively talk about their movies are not great. Don't Be a Menace. Absolutely hilarious. Major Pain, amazing. I love A Low Down Dirty Shame. After that, where does it go?
the scary movie franchise? Are you fucking
serious?
I'm sorry. It's not a good movie though. I love it, but it's not a good movie.
The first two scary movies are fucking brilliant.
They're fine.
Even the first 3, man. Even the first 3.
Bro, you wouldn't have spoof films like we know it without those.
Yeah, we would. Because Mel
Literally,
Brooks exists.
no. Literally, it's funny you mentioned Mel Brooks because Mel Brooks fell off right around Robin Hood Men in Tights, right? That was the last late great that he did. And then after that came the Wayans, and Keenan out here in these streets with his brothers making these incredible fucking films, talking about Don't Be a Menace, talking
Honestly,
about the
but like
scary movie
real
franchise.
talk though, like honest, like he kind of made spoofs worse. Because after that, he's the reason we got like epic movie and date movie,
meta, not
disaster movie.
Yeah.
No, but he didn't have anything to do with those. That was
No,
white
like,
people.
but-
Just like you see, boy,
He kind of instituted that
white
though.
people had their own shit, so they took the scary movie shit from them when they were like, "We're done doing this shit." Then they started doing movie 42 and shit. Nobody asked for that.
It was bad.
white
It was bad. Look, it hurts my soul because I'm Gonna Get You Sucker is my mama's favorite movie. Hollywood Shuffle is so amazing, but when it's compared to the other things I've seen, it's just really, it was really close. I actually tell you this, it was really close 3 and 4 based off of what I keep watching compared to like objective movie level. I didn't watch My Wife and Kids that much, though I watched it. I didn't watch The Wayans Bros that much, though I watched it. And Living Color is the one that hurts. It is the biggest, like, that really hurts. But if I had to make the choice,
I also just don't love sketch comedy, so I didn't watch Living Color.
The Wayans had to be the 4, had to be the last one here.
Can I ask you a question, Amaru? Because
Go
I know
ahead.
Chance's ass didn't because he's too young. Did you watch Chappelle's Show, bro?
Okay, I was
Every
there.
single week.
Shut up, Chance. I'm not talking to you right now.
Every single week.
So you do understand that the only reason the Chappelle Show comes along is because of In Living Color, right?
Yes.
You're very aware of the fact that there is no Chappelle Show without In Living Color to lay that foundation. Like everybody loves to say how Chappelle was the foundation then for like the Key and Peels, the Amy Schumers, the Carlos Mencia trying to straight swagger jacket shit. But that all spawns from In Living Color. It's literally because I was doing my Googles on this shit. So Damon was a featured player on SNL for one season, and he got fired because during one of the sketches he couldn't really remember his lines and he wasn't looking at the cue card, so he just started improvising. And he took his weatherman and made him a gay weatherman. And Lauren does not like that shit. He said that you can get the fuck off the show. So what does Keenan do? He goes, "Don't worry about it, Damon. We got it, son." And they went and made it Live in Color, and you got some of the greatest character work we have ever seen in history. Like, I would take season one of In Live in Color over the last 10 years of SNL right now, bro.
I mean, I probably would too, but I also
don't disagree. I don't, but you know what? We're gonna just we're gonna take the heat off of us for a second, and we're gonna go with Kolby. Kolby, in this apparently very, very difficult decision because we're already pissing people off. What was your number 4?
Okay, so I'm about to make
don't
this.
do it.
Don't
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So this hurt because it probably has one of my top 10 hood classes all time involved.
I swear.
But the thing is, it's so strong that it could possibly dwarf everything else in that catalog. And I'd say between all the rest of the 3, it's the smallest catalog, and that's the O'Shea Jacksons.
Okay, you're not doing what I thought.
That's not as small of a catalog as you think, but I'll hear you out. I'll hear you out, though.
So I look at it this way, right? Friday, in regards to hood classic, is an all-timer. You remember, like, back, like, growing up? Maybe
I pick Friday, not Boys in the Hood.
Well, you got Boys in the Hood and Friday as 2 of the classics right there. Like, and Straight Outta Compton.
Okay, but so Paige, maybe you understand this, right? I grew up in New York, right? Born in Miami, raised in New York. Boys in the Hood wasn't for me because I didn't belong to that culture.
Okay,
Somehow, because of the comedy, Friday was a bit more like I embraced it more, right?
Yeah.
I could not connect necessarily to Boys in the Hood, but I respect it for what it was. You watch that movie now, the movie's rough, son. Boys in the Hood is rough, especially with regards to its performances.
I was gonna say acting-wise, it's definitely not the best, but story-wise, it is good.
So who you're talking about? It's not. Maybe the acting isn't even across the board.
Correct.
But it doesn't call for you to do that. Like Q, for example,
and that's why with Friday, there's no call for anything. Right. And it was tough because I have such an affinity for it. But outside of Friday, and get me wrong, the Friday franchise is great. Next Friday, hilarious. Obviously, you got Friday After Next, hilarious. I don't know why we haven't got Friday Before Last. I don't know. Like Chris Tucker, let's make it happen, bro. Like we could, come on, man. But outside of that, and All About the Benjamins, what else?
Okay, all right. Hold on. Time out. I'm not gonna let you do this. I'm not gonna let you do this because I don't even need to get into all the other stuff that you mentioned. I can just do it off of Friday, but I'm gonna start with Friday, and then I'll give you I'll give you some side dishes. All right. So first of all, you have to remember with Friday, the biggest thing. Yes, they are quotable as hell. These were literal. Like most of these, there's gonna be something like this, but this was maybe the biggest jump off point for black comedians. I would say more so than the Wayans, even though they were dominating it, because you have to think about who you brought in. You made Chris Tucker a movie star. Genuinely, he was doing a little bit of stand-up, and he immediately got cast in Friday, left behind.
Chris Tucker's 90s run is better than Will Smith movie-wise. Just to say that again.
90s run, yes.
90s run. Not
full catalog, no. Full catalog, no. 90s run, yes.
Once again, whole nother show. Don't get me started.
Wild West.
The Wild Wild West ain't holding a candle to motherfucking Money Talks. Let's be real.
You got Bad Boys.
I love Bad Boys, but there are only one Bad Boys who's in the 90s. Only one Bad Boys who's in the 90s. Only one Bad Boy.
We gonna be here for 2 hours
over in the 2000s. You're not gonna do this.
Sorry,
let me focus.
I had to.
Okay.
Let me
so Chris
focus.
Tucker, got you.
Chris Tucker, Bernie Mac. Remember coming over here talking about, hey, McCain, and walk across the street and shit like that. Tiny Lester, my guy. Okay, you're about to lose motherfucking Dark Knight in the most pivotal moment where you have to make the decision about whether or not you're gonna blow motherfuckers up. The biggest nigga in the block, Devo, will come up and be like, "Go ahead, be a real man. Give me the switch."
But see, give me Tiny Lester and No Holds Barred like 7 years earlier.
Sure, but Tiny Lester became Tiny Lester because he became Debo. Let's be real.
No. He became Debo when he became Debo. He was Tiny Lester way before Friday.
I don't even know where this conversation is going anymore.
His star went because of Debo. It's not to say that he wasn't already doing his thing, but that was the moment that launched him like that. If we're just being real, John Weatherspoon coming through, he was already becoming a cultural icon, but as Pops, come on now. Like, bang, 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 bang. But keep it going. Every single Friday movie, you're being introduced to the new face of comedy. You lose Chris Tucker because he's got doing his own thing. He doesn't want to do Friday again, right? You bring in Mike fucking Epps. Mike at Day, bro. Yo, host has got a new thing. It's a bad motherfucker. When you bite into a grapefruit, shoot all in your mouth. You lose all of that. You lose Michael Black.
Which is even more quotable than next
Absolutely.
Friday.
Absolutely.
What was it?
And you get 21 Jump Street, guys. Get 22.
I haven't even gotten there. because the last thing that I'll say, and I'll let it go. Friday after next, Terry Crews and motherfucking Mike Cat Williams.
Like I said, it was hard, but honestly, like for me, when it came down to it, it's like I had the Friday franchise, and I've got All About the Benjamins, and I'm like everything else. When I look at everything else from the other categories above, I would have those rated significantly higher. Bro,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Having like the jump streets, the barbershops are better than literally most of the Wayans films.
Whoa,
if not all of the Wayans.
No, barbershops. Barbershop's not even that. Barbershop ain't even a hood classic, bro.
Come on.
That's not true. The first
Barbershop is not a hood classic.
Don't do that. Don't do that. The first one
it's
is.
Not.
If you want to write off Back to Business, fine. I'll give you that because sequels don't always pop off like that. But you're not going to write off the original Barbershop. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm gonna put a poll on. Do you consider Barbershop a hood classic?
Oh yeah, they do.
I do.
Bro, who drank my apple juice, nigga? Come on. Like, he was about to bust somebody's head wide open, bro.
I'm waiting. I think it's a hood classic. So,
Paige want to talk about the 21 Jump Street. Hold up. Let her have that moment. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, I'm just saying, like,
go from 21 Jump Street to your number 4, even though 21 Jump Street is just okay, except that one scene in 22. But go ahead,
Come on.
Keep going with 21 Jump Street and then go on to your number 4.
No, just 21 and 22 Jump Street is just great, and that cast itself is just amazing. And I mean, Ice Cube is getting to do something a little bit different than he usually does, which is nice. And you get Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum, the best buddy cop duos right there, besides the Bad Boys. So
I'm sorry, you're forgetting Rush Hour and Lethal Weapon. And never mind. Go ahead.
I like my 21 better than Lethal Weapon, and so piss off.
But, Three Kings is fucking excellent.
So for me, my number 4 though, guys, I can't believe I'm the only one that decided to go. Well, maybe I'm not.
You don't know.
I already know what she's
and
about
you haven't
to do.
gone, yeah.
But
I mean, I think it's the obvious choice is the Best Man cast.
Oh my God!
At least.
Yeah, walk away, white woman. Walk away.
No. I mean, guys, look, I rate it on my film enjoyment and on the films I want to watch. I am not going back and rewatching the Best Man franchise. The only person I really like in those films besides Terrence Howard is Regina Hall. Those are the only 2 people that I watch their other films is Regina Hall and Terrence Howard. Everyone else, I'm don't really care about their filmography that much. Yeah, I like the Scary Movie films, but to me, those films are another page turner. So the Best Man crew is my number 4, unfortunately.
You have The Wood, you have Brown Sugar, you have Love and Basketball, you have some of the best rom-coms of all time.
Yes, The Wood is great, but
you're literally by doing so, you may not have the tippity top of the top. You may not have Michael Jordan in this element, but you are walking away pretty much all of Black Hollywood royalty, period. It doesn't mean that there haven't been people before and after and in some of these other categories, but these 9 had literally been at the forefront of all Black movies in the 90s and the 2000s. That's a wild take. That's Nia Long.
Yeah.
Nia Long, I do love. Very beautiful.
Damn. Paige out here treating Nia Long like Emma Udoka did. Damn.
Dude, no, I'm just saying. I rank my list on what I'm gonna be watching most of. This crew, that franchise and the people in it, I feel like I don't go back to their filmography as much as I do with
Paige,
some of the greats like OJ and Spike Lee and shit. Like,
Paige,
in a way.
I didn't know
Paige,
OJ was in this.
I said OJ. Oh my god, that's
where's OJ in this list? Let me hear you consider.
Paige, real quick.
now you know that I'm really with it. What the fuck? Yeah,
Go ahead,
for me, yeah.
Do you?
We cannot hear you now.
Hold on.
There we go.
Now we can hear you.
There you go. Now you're
Okay,
speaking.
Okay, Paige, I got a question for you. Do you enjoy the occasional superhero flick by the House of Mouse known as Marvel Studios at all?
I mean, I tickle with that nonsense.
You dabble a little bit, right?
I dabble, yes.
Okay, so if you lose the best man cast, which means you lose Terrence Howard, it means that you lose one of the key elements of the very first MCU film. You lose the entirety of the most successful franchise of all time.
I'm sorry, I'm pulling Tanya right there. Winston, stop right there. I see you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If we get Terrence Howard, we get Don Cheadle earlier. So
no, you don't. No, you don't. Because again, you have to remember.
We need Terrence Howard.
Go back and watch those interviews. Go back and watch those interviews. Jon Favreau is homies with fucking Terrence Howard, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to do this Iron Man film. I want you to come on." Terrence lost his motherfucking mind talking about I need to be paid more than Robert Downey Jr. That's a whole other conversation. He would have still been in it today if it wasn't for money negotiation issues.
Mm-hmm. He would have. Yeah.
But literally, if that movie is not as good as it is, the entirety of this, I had this idea, this Avengers Initiative shit does not hit. It's gone. It doesn't exist. So you lose. That also go off without fail.
Terrence Howard would have already led a War Machine movie by now.
Absolutely.
That's not a selling point, man. Like Terrence Howard was the
no.
I don't
understand. Understand. If it wasn't for that, that War Machine movie, it would have been out before Black Widow.
Probably.
See, the funny thing is, people saying that would have driven the film. That the whole point of this is if somebody doesn't exist, yes, the other casting would have happened, but people have to understand that stuff like this, especially when it becomes cultural phenomenons, every little piece has to fit in. It's not just that we could have easily swapped that out. That's not how that happens. I love Michael Jordan, bro, but if he doesn't have the Bulls that he needed, he keeps getting beat by the motherfucking bad boy Pistons. Michael Jordan is still Michael Jordan, but the truth is he needed a squad. It's the same thing. If you don't have every piece in a row for this, because guess what? Despite what you say about adding Don Cheadle into the second one, how good is Iron Man 2? It's not.
It's not, but Don Cheadle's not the problem.
It doesn't matter. I just said you would put all the pieces together. That wasn't the solution. Come on now.
You put Terrence Howard in Iron Man 2, it doesn't make it better.
But if we're thinking about it, the reason why I'd have the O'Shea's below him, right? If I'm looking in regards to the different genres of like hood classics, right? The one thing we haven't talked too much about outside of our Boys in the Hood in regards to like gangster films, right? If you lose Terrence Howard, you lose Get Rich or Die Trying. You lose.
I forgot about him.
Where do I sign?
I didn't even think about that movie.
You also lose the little classics, the little baby classics like Four Brothers. That movie didn't make
no money. I do love Four Brothers.
Come on, fucking slaps. You think Don Cheadle's gonna play fucking Terrence Howard and Four Brothers? Get the fuck off my TV screen.
Yeah, you gonna play that. Real talk, I do not like Terrence Howard.
He does not like Terrence Howard, and you're gonna hate Winston even more because there's one person.
Winston's saying all this, and now I know what he's doing for us.
Yeah, now I want to know. He should be agreeing with me.
No,
your number 4.
No,
you spike your number 4.
No.
Here's the first thing. I need y'all to think of this like
and you guys want to take my black card away.
What was that shit? What was that movie that just came out that M. Night Shyamalan, Knock at the Cabin? There's no good solutions here. There's no solution here where everybody's happy. There's not. There's genuinely not. And
there is a right solution. This ain't it.
And the only reason that I have made this decision, for me, comedy has always been at the forefront, period. And the three outside of Spike has brought some comedy to his stuff, but his main element has been elevating Black dramatics, and I love him for it. Yeah. Now, people can disown me all they want. You want to disown anybody, it's Amaru. He should have never put this shit together and caused violence and horizontal oppression amongst Black folk on this. Still in Black History Month. You could have done it on fucking March 1st, and we should have said we were a little bit to be on some CPT and not traumatize people during our month. But if you have to do it, the only reason, and it was like pulling teeth out, bro. The only reason is because of what comedy means to me. So it doesn't mean that I don't love Spike films. I do, but they don't hit for me the same way that Fridays do. They don't hit for me the same way that Scary Movies do. They don't hit for me like In Living Color. They don't hit for me like The Wood or Best Man. They just don't. They're incredible, and they deserve all of the praise, but all that. But I'm surprised that Amaru didn't put Spike fourth, because if Spike wasn't as big of a Knicks fan, you probably wouldn't have pissed off motherfucking Reggie Miller, and you might have had a goddamn chip for the Knicks.
We don't talk the devil. That's the devil. The devil doesn't get mentioned on the show ever.
Can't wait for the banner this year, bro.
Everything he stands for. I'm sorry, Winston, you had to get kicked off just for that, because he is the devil. Kiss my ass.
Who is the devil? Reggie Miller?
Reggie Miller.
You mentioned him again. Damn it, we don't mention that man on this show. Anyway.
Look, man, I'm just saying, if that's the case, you might want to tell your boy, apparently the greatest out of all of you might want to tell him to calm down. He was the one literally instigating. He was poking the bear, bro.
He was. But this has shown that this list was beautiful. That's why I put it on here, because it's so damn difficult. So a quick recap of our force. I had the Wayans last, so did Chance. Paige got rid of the best man cast. Winston likes comedy over drama, and Kolby did not want to have a good day. He got rid of Junior and Cube. So from that, we're gonna move on to our number threes real quick, and I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I'm with
Come on,
my number three. Look,
thank you.
It's the same thing. It is the same thing.
You guys obviously do not like cinema just in general, then.
Here's the deal.
Because
here's the deal with Spike.
I see Kobe's face. Does he have a 3 too?
Yes, he does. You know he does. Look at him. He's about to start laughing.
Y'all will be the worst interrogations, bro.
When Spike is great, he is great. But when he is bad, he is out there. I
He's
saw
bad.
him.
I don't think there's such thing as a bad Spike Lee film.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
just
say,
know,
I don't think
so, but this is the thing. Spike Lee is he has a very singular yet multi-layered like vision, and I look at with regards to hood classics is that I can get those varying sentiments in other forms. And it's not saying that, damn, if I remove Spike, like I feel like I'm gonna remove like the dearth of the core of like what makes like black cinema like cinema.
Right. See, that's it. And see, Bruce put the same bullshit on Twitter, and that's not true at all, because Denzel was already nominated for Glory before he even hooked up with Spike. So don't even start on that shit, bro. Same with Wesley.
And that's the thing. It's like granted, there was a run like, damn, I could lose Denzel like as Malcolm X, and that's one of the, like the defining films for me, like growing up. You know, like
right. Kolby, I'm with you on that. I'm not saying that if you lose Spike, you don't lose greatness. I'm not saying that you don't lose things like He Got Game and all that kind of. I'm not saying that at all. Let alone the commercial.
But you do lose He's Got Game.
No.
Have Spike low on your list.
No. I know that. But what Bruce was saying on Twitter, which I was like, I'm gonna save it because I'm not gonna tweet battle somebody. I'll just say it when I actually can use my physical voice. Again, Denzel already won for Glory. Yeah, Wesley was already doing New Jack City around the same time when he finally hooked up with.
And New Jack City is my mom's favorite movie of all time, by the way.
He tried to trade Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett was already doing her shit with What's Love Got to Do with. Like, there's already these people. What Spike did incredibly well. There are some people he introduced us to. Let's not get that like confused. But Spike saw the greatness on the rise and said, "Yo, why don't we team up?" And that's what Spike did, and he made absolute masterpieces by doing so. But to say that he was the reason, and for me, that is where a lot of this came from. The Wayans literally put in a situation where people started their careers. They became superstars because of that. The same thing could be said about that best man cast. If they don't come together like that, then they don't go off and become what they become. Spike didn't necessarily make the people that he's worked with that are the greatest of the great. He just took them where they were already at an NBA all-star level and made them Hall of Famers. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying?
That's so
I don't know. I think you guys are crazy. Like, do the right thing. Like,
I just want to hear y'all say why white chicks more important than keeping Spike's filmography. I'm waiting on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like I said, white chicks are so much lower on the list with regards to everything else that the Wayans have to offer.
Absolutely. That's how I know you guys. That's how I know your guys' knowledge of the Wayans, for example, is too shallow.
No,
or the best man cast is too shallow.
Here's the big reason. Here's the big reason why I have Spike above the Wayans but lower than the other two is. I'm going to pull what Paige said, and this is what I usually go off of a lot. Do the Right Thing, all-time great. Malcolm X, all-time great. She's Gotta Have It, all-time great. And the show was beautiful.
School Days
as well.
is even great. Like
School Days is my father's favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, like
I never go back to watch them ever.
Well,
I don't see those movies again.
that could be a genre thing. That's like dope. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and
who wants to go back to watch Malcolm X? That's not an enjoyable experience, bro. That's like want to go back to watch Amistad. Why the fuck do I want to go back and watch?
Yeah,
Amistad?
I will never watch When They See Us ever
I watched
again.
Amistad in elementary school and I was done.
And I told you, and I'm telling you,
likely hear that comparison when he would literally shoot himself in the face.
The only reason that Spike is above, again, 3 and 4 was hard for me. The only reason Spike is above the Wayans is because a drama that I can't rewatch is better than a comedy I can't rewatch. Because some of those Wayans comedies were not rewatchable, though they were really funny, and I watched them over and over and over again. But this was the one where I took the power that was Spike, the importance that was Spike is more important to me than those comedies I really, really love. And that's the only reason. So they were very, very close. But the both of them are my 3 and 4, just because I knew one, they're probably the least I'm going to go back to rewatch. And secondly, with some of their comedies, just I could not. Spike was above because he was just a bit more important than the Wayans was to me. But he's still number 3, mostly because I'm probably not watching a lot of those movies ever.
I mean, the only movie that he did that wasn't good was the remake to Old Man. Old Man or Old Boy?
He's got a lot of not good ones.
Yeah.
Old Boy or Old Man?
Old Boy.
Kolby, anything you want to add as you also have him at number 3?
Like I said, it was just one of the thing is the greats are greats. Like when I made my mental list in regards to all the greats, like what I can live with and what I can live without. It sucks when I came to it that I can live without those, but the specific actors, I'm like, great, I can still be able to keep some of those other actors because, like Winston was saying, I don't give Denzel to Spike. I don't give, there's so many of what has elevated his career that I can still keep without Spike.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna move over to Chance. Chance, who's your number 3?
What was my 3? Was it Best Man Cast?
It was
the
young
ass nigga
Negro.
off my screen. Get him out of here.
2 and 3 were actually really close for me. The reason I took this at 3 was because I think you have to dig deeper. Again, looking at solely movies, you have to dig a lot deeper with a lot of these filmographies, like Morris Chestnut especially, who I love as an actor. I love Morris Chestnut. His Proudest Picking Projects is fucking atrocious, and I feel like he needs a better agent or better judgment. But yeah, when you look at all these filmographies, a lot of them are not great on the whole. I get to cherry pick a lot of these to find.
That's why they were my number 4.
Person have it 2, it's a lot easier to clear cut. What are the great movies that they have going for them? And also, again, I've said a piece on Terrence Howard. I don't like watching that dude. So I think he's talented. He's just someone I don't want to watch ever. So yeah, that's why I'm best man cast at 3 for me.
Does anybody else have the best man cast? No. So just go over the page because nobody else has the best man cast at number 3.
Because
for me, guys. Actually, I need to check to see what my number 3 is real quick before.
Your number 3 was also the Wayans, damn it.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, wanted to make sure. I didn't want to give the wrong answer.
So I'm gonna let you both. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let both of y'all talk.
TV. I didn't think of TV.
No, I'm just saying. Y'all just don't like to have fun, is what you're telling me. Y'all niggas
we can have fun. We can have fun. It's just not like this.
Major Pain, fucking White Chicks, Little Man. I completely forgot about Living in Color.
In Living Color, Paige. The way you butcher names is hilarious. In Living Color.
In Living Color. You guys know what I mean. I'm white. It's okay if I mess it up. No, what I'm trying to say is that I love those films, but I also go to against what films I enjoy more and what films are better, who has a better filmography, kind of in a sense. It's what I'm going back to watch more. And for me, I didn't think about the TV side of it because, they influenced Hollywood a lot with what they did. But for me, they are number 3, at least with their filmography.
Yeah.
Film, not TV, film.
Oh, but you lose the TV anyway. Winston, You didn't agree with her. You also had somebody else at number 3, and who was yours?
It was the O'Sheas, and that's just from the standpoint of like if we're genuinely being honest, all 4 of these were impossible. I was able to weed out Spike down at 4 because of just the more drama than comedy element. And then as far as just like if you want to mention straight up quality, for all of the reasons I said that Cube needed to be included and everything like that, if this had included music, this isn't a competition, and Ice Cube washes all 3 easily. It's not even remotely close because
nobody else does music.
No. But I'm saying, but we're talking
just in general. Okay,
overall career.
Right.
What he did for music and then still turned around and did in TV and film, I would give him it would be easy. But since we can't include that, and that is literally half of what Ice Cube has done, it was able to help me pull that back a little bit. And this is where I got really confused because a lot of arguments started happening. So I hit up Amaru and I asked, and he said if there is any overlap. So let's say, for example, you have a situation with like I'm trying to think of a good one off the top of my head. So the Wayans, for example, was Scary Movie, right? Regina Hall is in the Scary Movies. If you lose the Wayans, but you keep the Best Man cast, you get to keep Scary Movie. Some freak magical thing happened in the universe where that movie still happened, was how Rue explained it to me. So once I heard that,
her character wasn't in it, right?
Because she was in it, and you're saving her filmography. So Regina Hall is in Scary Movie.
Oh, wait a minute! Hold on!
Didn't think of it like that, man.
So knowing
it's always been a rule. Always been a thing.
So knowing that,
I knew that.
The only reason why I ended up kind of pulling back here a little bit on the Cubes is just that while there are some definite bangers, and I did mention some of the people that you were talking about, there were 2 major elements which I've kind of talked about, but I'll talk about later with the Wayans and with the Best Man cast that just edge out Cube. Like, people think that this was done lightly. It was not. This is Knock at the Cabin. Am I going to murder my husband or my child? I'm going to let the world burn. What the fuck? Ain't no good choices here. So
me and Winston had a long text conversation about him trying to figure out how he's doing this.
I want you to know, Amaru, there's a bunch of niggas here in California that said, don't ever introduce me to this dude because I will fight him in the street. There's a bunch of people in LA that do not fuck with you for this shit, bro.
Yo, forward them the show. Make sure they watching shit.
I gotta say, honestly, fucking Winston, I could not have more opposite lists right now.
Here's the deal, though. O'Shea Jr., he is so good.
O'Shea Jr. helps. O'Shea Jr. helps us from there. That's why
Wait, you said he helps?
Junior, because like his filmography, pretty good, honestly.
He's short, but he's getting better.
Yeah.
When fucking Cocaine Bear is your worst movie, you're doing something right.
I see it, guys. Right after this, no spoilers.
Don't get hyped.
With that, our thirds right now, me and Kolby were on the same page with Spike. Winston took Cube and Junior out. Paige had the Wayans at number 3, and Chance took out the Best Man cast. So we've been talking long enough. We're going to take the gloves off and figure out our number 1s. But of course, before we do that, please go visit bitesizebreakdown.com. It is doing a little revamp right now, but on Monday we will be back. We will most likely have we have a ghost review up, Cocaine Bear. This one right here did an interview with Brandon Cronenberg that is up, and it's a very great interview. Just did our top 5 rom-coms, and speaking of the Best Man cast, and we will be having our top 5 fight films coming out soon in honor of Creed 3. And when we say fight films, we mean competitive fighting. So just to be really clear about that.
Yeah,
but
there are heated arguments about this, but we figured out what we were doing.
Yes, but with that, yes, Peggy, I had the Wayans at number 4.
Yeah, so did I. And I'll do it again.
Here we go. The way we have it, Cuban Jr. was saved by one person on this panel. Spike was saved by one person on this panel. And me, Winston, and Kolby knew what the fuck we were talking about because the Best Man cast cannot go away.
We knew what this was.
That's
9 niggas. 9.
Insane.
That is Hollywood royalty. That is Hollywood royalty.
The title is called Hood Classics. Fucking Boys in the Hood. Straight out of Compton. Friday. Those are hood.
Well, okay.
classics.
Here's the thing. Straight
Best
Outta
man films are not
Whoa,
hood
Straight Outta
classics.
Compton is not a hood classic.
It's not a hood classic. It is.
Okay,
it
it's
is
not,
a
but it
very,
will
very
be in
good
like
movie.
50 years. So, like,
Sure, but we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
I think ahead of the game, okay?
February 25th, 2023. What I would do? Come on
Listen,
now.
think it ahead.
Just understand, like, you have Nia Long. She is probably the definitive hood chick. Her, Regina King.
Halle Berry
like,
exists, man. Come on.
Halle Berry ain't hood.
We said
Oh,
hood.
wait,
You just said
Oh,
one.
hood chick. Okay, my bad.
The closest thing that she got to hood was Strictly Business, and that wasn't hood enough.
Well, so here's the thing.
Baps exist, brother. Baps exist.
This is where. Hold on. Matt Thomas trying to come for me right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut this nigga up real quick. There would have been one of two options that happened here. I genuinely did not know what to do between the Wayans and the Best Man cast, and I genuinely went back and forth. And the definitive, you know what? I know where I gotta lie. My sister is on the verge of winning an NAACP award for her writing on the final chapters. So fuck it all. If you put a gun to my motherfucking head, you know I'm gonna take care of mine, and we ain't losing no motherfucking Best Man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Tell your sister congratulations, because that actually is very cool. And
so for me, the biggest thing, one of the biggest things was the overlap. Friday is easily the best movie in the trilogy, and I get to keep that because of Nia Long. Boys in the Hood is a classic. Morris Chestnut is in that. But dude, the Best Man franchise is the best romance rom-com series ever. Period. After the show, if you haven't seen the show, go see the show. Brown Sugar, I believe, is my favorite rom-com ever. Black rom-com ever, because 40-Year-Old Virgin is amazing and it's included that. Coming to America, I take that back. But still, Brown Sugar is up there. The Wood is one of the pinnacle coming of age.
Coming to America is not a rom-com.
Yeah, it is.
It is a romance.
I don't think it is.
There is a formula to rom-coms. That's not a rom-com. Because if that was a rom-com, Lisa would have been a co-lead, not a supporting character. She's a supporting character in Coming to America.
I will give you that,
I don't think that's enough of a definitive factor at all. You said that there is a formula to it. You're right, and it follows exactly what it is. This man goes to try and find his queen to be, and spends the entirety of the movie trying to follow one particular woman. He goes on multiple dates. They don't work the fuck out. So you're telling me 40-Year-Old Virgin is not a rom-com then? Because it follows the same motherfucking formula.
No, 40-Year-Old Virgin is not a rom-com. No, it's not a rom-com. It's a rom-com.
Look, Iron Man is there. One of the greatest TV shows there, and Lost is there. But again, for me,
Lost from HBO, bro.
Oz from HBO.
Oz, you lose Lost. You lose the Matrix. You lose so much shit,
bro.
Shit.
I lose Lost in the Matrix. Where do I sign?
Who's the Matrix? Why am I forgetting who's in
Harold Perrineau?
Harold Perrineau.
Yes, thank you. Well, the
sequels. Again, where do I sign?
Regardless how you feel about those following two movies, we still talk about the trilogy, bro. Come on.
The trilogy's there. But still, very much for me, The Wood, Brown Sugar, Best Man, Love and Basketball, those four, Love Jones, those five together are essential to Black culture, period. And they're amazing. I'm sorry, I'm keeping that over everything.
I'm also tired of people talking about if you don't have Spike to put Samuel Jackson in Jungle Fever, you lose. I understand what that role did for him, but look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 motherfucking credits before Jungle Fever. That's not a good fucking argument. Like, homie was already out here cooking, goddammit. If anything, remember, his first real breakout motherfucking role was in Coming to America, talking about, I'm sticking the nigga up and he gets hit with the fucking mop. Don't act like Samuel Jackson wasn't on the way. He was fine.
I can't believe you guys don't want the movie, like, Are We There Yet? As like,
I can't believe
the movie is fabulous.
I can't believe
the awards of that too, guys. So
I can't believe none of you had Spike at once.
Great, so then we get to keep it. Think about it, Paige. You should be upset because if we lose Best Man, we lose Miss Congeniality because of Melissa D'Souza.
Yes, you do. You lose Miss Congeniality, and that's your jam. See, this is the part where I'm like, y'all don't know your goddamn history. You don't know your goddamn history. All right, you just lost Miss Congeniality. What the fuck you gonna do now?
I know my history, and I also know that Spike Lee is arguably the greatest Black filmmaker of all time. And by arguably, I mean inarguably. Like,
Yeah,
but
you're
let me
literally
ask you
losing some of
this.
the pillars of
Chance.
black cinema when you
And
get
Chance.
respectfully. Not only
Chance.
that, you're also losing some incredible documentary. People forget, like Spike Lee, phenomenal documentarian.
I don't disagree with you, but Chance, let me ask you this
Name
question.
one hood classic documentary. Fuck out of here.
Ooh.
Four Little
I got
Girls.
one. I got one for Patriots. I don't know if this will work because the Patriots have only been successful because of Tom Brady. But if you were to tell me,
Yes.
if you were to tell me that you lose Tom Brady, but that then the Patriots have as many championships, maybe more, because they've been able to ride across the board for generations, not just this one generation, but generations.
Mm-hmm.
You would not lose Tom Brady. You would keep him over the idea of prolonged, extended success. You maybe don't get to claim the GOAT, but you get to go, we've been fucking motherfuckers up, and not just because of this one guy. Question.
And
It's
to
hard
still
to
be able to come
answer
back.
because
But hey,
I'm a very dedicated person. So like Tom Brady was my man.
Is it
But
Brady
at
or
the
the
same time,
Patriots? That's
you're
my
right.
question.
If we're able just to take it and no, it's not just dependent on one person, then that really does mean that we are the best. So I guess I get what you're saying there. So I do agree on that aspect. So yes.
but the fact that we can now take this franchise and as relevant as it was when we were kids, it's come back and it's brought it all together. It gave each individual member not only like their definitive arc, like closing their arc, right? At the same time, while introducing a movie that we should have got 10 years ago. Like this shit worked out really, really well with some of those unlikable characters and also lovable characters at the same time. Do you know how much we absolutely hated Terrence Howard's character in the first one?
Yes.
And you come around and you really, really love this dude by the end. Like,
Really?
Out here having heart attacks, and you just out here like, oh, come on, nigga, get it together. And you find out that his dad's a piece of shit, so that's why he's a piece of shit.
Yes!
There's just so much. Let
Oh my
alone,
gosh.
hold on. This is how I know y'all ain't watched the final chapters, and y'all need
I
to,
haven't, no.
not just because of my sister, because there's a whole thing specifically. We're talking about hood classics. So that means what is it also doing to help progress the culture, right? So if you're just talking about Best Man, you're not even talking about the rest of their catalogs that we had mentioned before. In these final chapters, you have a situation where Morris Chestnut, where Lance, his son, is non-binary, and there's a whole discussion where black folk really are only barely getting to the place where they're starting to accept the queerness of the world and in the black community. Lance loses his shit and it's like, my son ain't nothing, and it's like, it's they. No, it's not. It's him, and that's my son. Like, and they address that entire thing and have a real meaningful conversation about what's happening in the black community. That's happening right now. Right now.
At the same time, though, nobody did that better than Spike. Like, Spike broke down barriers better than any black filmmaker in the history of cinema. Like, the dude's got his own section in the Academy Museum because he's that important. You can't get rid of him. Like,
yes.
you
And
can't
that,
get rid of him.
and that museum
we were
is,
there.
yes,
We
we
were
were there
there.
together. That museum
The
was
museum is fire. The museum's
fabulous.
fire. I'm not like again.
You're not wrong about Spike.
You're
It's
eliminating
just-
literally the majority of Denzel's best work. You're eliminating the discovery.
It's
of
fine.
John David Washington.
Amaru asked, would you rather have your hands chopped off, your feet chopped off, have your eyes ripped out, or your tongue ripped out? Like, make a decision. Which one do you not want? Like, there's no good.
It's a
win
difficult
here.
one. It's a very difficult one. Joseph Ashton keeps talking about Ice Cube, and Paige was the only one to keep Cube and Junior.
You don't
Paige,
lose Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was doing his thing before.
He was. But
was.
Paige, why did you keep the two of them?
So for me, like I said from the beginning, I went back on, all right, topic is hood classics. Boys in the Hood and Friday in Barbershop are to me like
hood in the title.
shut up. Exactly. Like, but I enjoy those movies too. I was like, all right, I'm focusing on hood classics and I'm going with whose filmography I like the most. I think O'Shea Jackson Jr. is literally going to be like very big soon. Like he's already what he's doing now. Like he's
leave his weight out of it, okay? That's not nice.
He's gonna be doing great things. Like I can totally see that. I mean, literally, Ice Cube is a great fucking writer. Like some of the work that he's created for us, like via film, is to me outstanding. And I don't know. I think you guys are crazy. I went back. My main thing was whose films do I watch the most, and whose do I like the most. And for me, it was the Cube and the Junior. So that's kind of where I stand on it. I love Spike. That's why Spike was my number 2. I think he is the best black filmmaker. But I also, like I said, I don't go back to his films as much as I probably should. But I think his films are a lot harder to watch than something really enjoyable like Friday or Next Friday or 21 Jump Street or Are We There Yet? Like, yes, I know those are stupid movies, but they're still amazing and I love them. So,
I mean, you're not wrong in that.
Well-
Like, I love Tim Duncan and what he's done for the league, but I would watch Steph Curry play basketball 10 times out of 10 over Tim Duncan.
And
Bro,
That's
turn
why-
in your Texas card.
and I
Right
respect that.
I don't fuck with the Spurs. Fuck the Spurs.
I know you don't
I'm from
fuck
Dallas. No,
Thank
you
you.
don't
Yeah,
get
no.
to do that.
Turn it
Don't tell
everywhere.
me how to live my life,
Turn it
bitch.
everywhere.
You're not gonna do this.
That's the reason Paige just broke down why the Best Man cast and the O'Sheas were my 1 and 2 because they have my favorite films out of all of them outside of Do the Right Thing. But again, Do the Right Thing, I don't watch very much. It's those two that keep it for me, and that's what it is. Kolby, you also had Best Man at number 1, but you had the Wayans at number 2. So break down why you had
it was
that
a 1A
and
and 1B, and if I would have like remembered the fact of the crossover, then I probably may have had the Wayans right there. But like honestly, I think 1 and 2 is interchangeable between the Wayans and them, and it's just mainly because one, the fact that you have in Livy Cutler, being the platform that sprung out the roots for like everybody in a certain segment of Hollywood, and then the baton, in my opinion, being like tossed off on the big screen with the Best Man cast, is that you have from the 80s up until now covered for Black Hollywood. Some would contend that Spike had like the bulk of his relevance, from the 80s to maybe the late 90s, right? With regards to his cultural relevance to Black Hollywood.
You're right. He still had bangers after the fact. He had a lot of misses after the fact too, but you're right. The point at which Spike was at his peak was the 80s and 90s. And that doesn't mean that like you don't still come up with the Black Klansman. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Spike is back now, man.
But no, Spike
doing that
Spike,
Viagra musical. Like it's
Spike in that regard looks a lot like a Kobe career. That opening salvo of that Kobe career, you can't do nothing, bro. He's killing you. He is absolutely dominating the game. And then you have like those later years before the retirement where we're like, oh, he might want to hang it up. And then when he decides to finally hang it up, his final game is a 60-point game. That's what Black Klansman felt like to me, is that Spike has still been around and relevant, but it's kind of like he's kind of dialed it back a little bit.
You're limiting our boy Jay Washington's work with Chirac. I hope you know that.
Chirac is Chirac.
Are we really going to talk about Chirac?
We're going to talk about
Really?
Chirac?
We're really going to talk about Chirac.
What's Chirac? Chirac's good.
Chance, bring yourself back and don't mention that, but mention why Spike is your number 1. You also have the O'Sheas at number 2. But any other final thoughts on?
Yeah, I already mentioned like Spike Lee. I think is the greatest Black filmmaker of all time. I don't think it's remotely close. Like, there are others who could combat him. Like, I think Coogler could make an argument for himself like decades down the line. But like, if you made a list of like the greatest pieces of Black cinema in history, like give me like a list like 25. A good chance like a third of that list is Spike Lee films because he's that important. Like he has a lot of Denzel's best work, a lot of like so many actors who have like their best work under Spike Lee, and I think that you can't eliminate that. I just think that there's no way. And the Jacksons, the Jacksons and the Best Man cast were both very close. What put it over for me is the fact that I think you have to. He very well could.
In like 40 years, he still is very early on in his filmmaking.
I think that when looking at the filmography, I think it's easier to cherry pick like the better movies in the Jackson's filmography as opposed to the Best Man cast. And honestly, O'Shea Jackson Jr. kind of helps. Like his filmography is not very big, but it's a lot of really good work. Again, like straight out of Compton.
Yeah, but he's not contributed to one hood classic. So like I completely Junior's out of it for me. Because he's not contributed to it.
Absolutely, he hasn't been in a single like. So here's the problem.
There's classic. Like he's new. Like
look again.
Honestly, I can't even say that Straight Outta Compton is a contemporary hood classic.
Oh come on!
I don't think so either. The funny thing is,
I think
it's not to say that Black folk don't like Straight Outta Compton. But white folk like Straight Outta Compton more than Black folk. If we're being honest. If we're being honest.
Because the color of your skin when it comes to it.
Well, because we're specifically talking about during Black History Month about
even aside from that,
classics.
Even aside from that, I decided to look at the quality of films that we're dealing with. So like with like Jackson Jr., you got that, you got Long Shot, you got Just Mercy. You have like again, I had one of them on my brain. I can't
I
remember.
mean,
No.
you do have
Like I said,
Obi-Wan.
there's a part of this argument that
like
that we talked about earlier that we forgot. When you put with regards to TV, it's a done deal between the Wayans and the Best Man cast.
I wasn't thinking about TV. So
That-
I'll
that- that
admit,
was-
I
TV.
can
Even
understand
then,
it more.
I
If we're
still
just
would.
talking movies,
talking
get
films,
it. But when
I
we're
give you
talking
that. I agree.
TV,
I
it's
agree.
it's not even close.
I completely agree. I completely agree because it wasn't presented to me just as movies. If it was
No,
just
it wasn't to
movies,
me either.
then-
That's just how I read it.
Y'all
Okay.
have been on the show before. You know how this works. I just told y'all.
No, but every time we've done
There's
it,
some little
it's been
deviation.
like, what superhero do you want to keep? Superman or Batman?
Yeah, okay, hold on. If we're adding
So
TV
if we're talking about classics, everybody got the show, the Steve Harvey show, the Cedric the Entertainer show, which could lend itself in that regard to the argument for Spike since he championed the Kings of Comedy. Like, completely understand that. But like, there are some other crossovers to be able to get that because you can still be able to get the
But
Brady
even
Mac
like
show.
if you take TV into it, like Obi-Wan Kenobi's great. Does anybody here watch Swagger?
Oh wait, what?
Somebody told me Swagger was amazing. Nick
Swagger
told me I
is
should watch
fucking
Swagger.
awesome, and
What do we-
it gave us proof
where
that
does
Quavante
conversation
Wallace is
go?
still around, and she's still awesome.
So do we get music though in this
O'Shea's-
too?
O'Shea
Because Ice Cube is
Jackson is-
killing it in the music game though as well. So
That's why I
But
took
I
music
asked
out
him.
of
He
it
said no
because
music. If he said
that's
music,
why I
like
took
I
music
said,
out
this
of it
isn't a
because
competition.
that would have made it very, very one-sided. Because Cube is top 10 all time.
What
to some people. But
Wait,
but anyway,
done-
O'Shea
before I do that,
Jackson's in Star Wars?
he's in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He's on
He's in
Kenobi.
the
He's in
Obi-Wan
Yeah.
Kenobi show. But anyway,
in 2 episodes.
Winston, before I let you finish this off, real quick, Chance, you are one of the only ones here who's been on the show before the characters won. You know how this show works.
I was
Winston,
on
finish
Kanye.
this
I
off.
went for a Kanye one. That's it.
You know how this show works.
I didn't
Winston,
think
go on
TV.
ahead. Winston, your final thoughts on this list and everything. Let us know why you also had Best Man #1, Wayans #2.
So here's why this is just straight violence against Black folk, and I don't know why you do this to your people, Amaru. But it's a situation where if you have to look at it again, I'm going to take like the overall dream team than I am just Michael Jordan. I'm gonna take the Pro Bowl team together than I am going to take like Tom Brady. I'm not out here in these streets going for like the one individual thing. Now that does not mean that didn't branch off. Like Brady is responsible for Gronk being as good as he is. Michael Jordan is responsible for Scottie Pippen being as good as he is. Like I'm not denying what the GOATs can do for people around them. However, when you look at the Best Man cast specifically and what that means for Black Hollywood, you are talking about yes, you had Spike out here kind of opening the door like that and whatnot, and a lot of the film and even the Wayans, you could argue that, but you were talking about when we started to say Black movie stars and genuinely mean it. It wasn't just the offshoot of Laurence Olivier or Denzel, where you have these one or two movie stars and that's it. You're literally talking, huh? Not Laurence Olivier. Sorry, no. No, God damn it, my brain is short circuiting right now.
You're not talking
I
about
mean,
Lawrence
my-
Hold on,
I
wait.
think they just-
What
which
one
one
more
of
hood
these are the
classic
hood
we forgot to
classics,
mention? Players Club.
Ice Cube. There
Ice
you
Cube.
go. That is another one. The Cube is in.
This to me, the
But
topic
that's also
is
another one
hood
that Best Man
classics.
cast is in.
Who's in that one? Who's in that one?
What?
Who's in Players
wife.
Club?
That's wife.
Oh, shit, that's right. You're right. You're right. I just can't remember.
Sorry,
wife?
God damn it. Why did I say Laurence Olivier? Sidney Poitier. The shit rhymes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I literally look, I have finished my white Hennessy. Give me a motherfucking break. My brain short circuited. I was like, why? That is not right. What is wrong with me? You had what I'm
Damn,
saying.
and I
is-
get Jamie's Club from Players Club too. Jamie Foxx from Players Club too. Yes.
Absolutely. So when you say all of that, you had the situation where Black folk in Hollywood like that, kind of a one-off, literal like shooting star. This isn't a situation where there was a lot of us. When you talk about the Best Man cast and you talk about these 9 and the people around them, you're talking about a situation for Black folk where we finally started talking about the same way that white people were like, oh yeah, Brad Pitt this and Angelina Jolie that. That's what Morris Chestnut is to us. That's what Nia Long is to us. That's what this cast and what they've done going forward. So when I was thinking hood classics, when I was thinking who is really affecting me like that, the reason why it was that weird 1 and 2 between the Wayans and between the Best Man cast was that reasoning. And the thing that really teetered it over the edge for me, and I've said it, Matt wants to cancel me entirely for it, but we all have our biases. I know some niggas that were like, look, I don't like Obama, I don't like McCain, but the nigga black, so that's just what we gonna do. Like, you know what I'm saying? It happens. It happens. And so in this case, because they were really even for me, that's what tipped me over to this side. And it is what it is.
Can I just ask you though, out of the Best Man like cast, like filmographies, which ones do you consider like hood classics though?
I listed.
He listed all of them. Bring up your
Okay, I'm just asking like what do you guys?
Bring up your Best Man little graphic again.
Just to refresh the audience.
So
the Best Man
Love and Basketball.
You can't claim Iron Man. You cannot claim Iron
Yes,
Man.
you can claim Iron Man, not as a hood classic, but you
It
can.
doesn't matter. Iron Man is not a hood classic.
Sugar, Hustle and Flow, The Wood.
No,
you can
Hustle and
put
Flow,
Girls Trip up there now.
Yeah, you know, would be good.
House Stella got it. All of every single one of these. If you want to take,
you can
Iron Man
take out. If you want to go with regards to a classic, you can take out Iron Man and Girls Trip. The rest of those, like that is solid.
When I tell you that a large majority of Black folk in America's lives at a certain age, you might not say that about younger millennials.
Yeah, look at their DVD
Z.
library, not Blu-ray library.
Talking about
their DVD library.
If you're talking about mid to older millennials up through some boomers, they're gonna quote those movies as the movies that like raised them or really helped define their life. That's why when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, where is this coming from? And those were the movies that were being talked about all the time.
Yeah. Look,
I respect your decision.
You
are better than
this entire group of lists. If you look at what we chose and what we kept, this might be one of the most like differential lists I've had.
Kolby and I on the same page, man. We get each other, man.
Very close. I were on the same page pretty much.
But like every single one of the choices was at number 4. Every single one of the choices was at number 3. And we were really close because Kolby and Winston were really close between the Wayans and the Best Man cast for 1 and 2. And this showed how hard that this episode became for all of us. And that's why I did it. Because I love putting people through pain and love having people arguing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. A couple more things before we get out of here. Me and Paige are a part of the Bitesize crew, so please go to bitesizebreakdown.com, Bitesize Break on all platforms. I'm going to throw it over to Chance. Chance, any things coming up for you or places where people can follow you at?
Yeah.
Twitter, Chance_91. Check out the Choice by Chance YouTube channel. We're doing stuff on there. Left Side, Strong Side. The show we talk about football. We're out of season right now. But I will say it right here. This Tuesday, we are doing our all movie drafts. The movie guys are going to host it. And basically the whole premise is like you can draft any character from any movie to be on your team. Like if you want to draft Optimus Prime as your D tackle, you can do it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing that on Tuesday.
Wait.
That's reckless.
You're drafting a football team with movie characters?
Yeah.
Bro. Damn. Wait a minute.
That's
you available Tuesday?
I mean, what depends on the time. I might have to figure it out, but
I'll text you after.
That sounds really, really fun.
Everybody doing Chance on Tuesday.
It would be. I was actually just thinking about something like that, but like not with like any like folks with superpowers and stuff like that. Because I was watching The Replacements by accident when I was getting my hair cut.
No, man, bro. You can do it. Like you want to make Batman your quarterback, you can do it. Like you can do anything you want.
Well, I mean, this is over. You literally put the Flash as your running back, and who's stopping you, bro? Like that's a game blouse.
The defensive line is all the kaiju like fucking monsters, and then
you don't think his ass can zip around? That's a game over. You might have to. No speed force.
We got the live show every week, and actually yesterday we dropped our episode on Southland Tales, which we did review. Confusing ass fucking film. And if you want to watch it with us, we have our commentary that's dropping today.
All right, join him on that. Winston, what you got going on, sir? Tell people where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Absolutely. You can find me at the Swaggy Blerd on all the platforms, man. I'm doing a podcast with that annoying motherfucker, Matt Thomas, doing a review of Bel Air. We already put up our season 1 recap and review, but we've got season 2. We're doing it for each of the episodes. I had to stop the upload for this show right now, but that should be up within like an hour or two. if you want to get a recap on the season premiere of Bel Air. I've also got a bunch of like comedy sketches and whatnot, both on YouTube and on TikTok. And then you can also see me every Friday over on the Christian Harloff channel on Capes and Cows, breaking down all of the superhero movie and TV news, which we will be touring, it sounds like, pretty soon. So you'll see me back up on stage doing some more stand-up pretty soon too, man. So keep an eye out for all of that.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. And last but not least, Mr. Kolby Mac, again, straight off of the HCA Film Awards. Tell people where they can find you at.
Yeah, man, last night was great. First time at HCA Film Awards. It was dope. Got a chance to be able to present Brendan Fraser with the Best Actor.
Wow.
So that was really, yeah, like Encino Man shook my hand, bro. Like it was great. He looked me. This is a gem of a human being. This giant man looks at me. Like thank you, Kolby. This was an honor. I said, my nigga, I didn't do it. Just wasn't just personally me. It was like everybody else. But thank you, you're welcome. But it was great. But yo, you can follow your boy. I'm on all the socials at Kolby Told Me. That's KolbyTold me. And when I'm in the mood to write, you can check out our website for Minorities Report Film at mreportpod.com. Movie reviews and podcasts to come again. So yeah, thanks for having me. Can't wait to come back.
Yeah, thank you all for coming on. I definitely appreciate it. Always a fun time doing this. But it is the end of the episode, and as you all know, at the end of every episode, I give you the riddle for the next episode. So next time on One Gotta Stay, next month is March Madness, and us sports fans know that there is no crying in bracketology.
Okay,
you got to call your shot, and you hope that if you build a bracket, the wins will come. But for some of these fans, their superstitions are real weird. Like they think the left side is the strong side. Don't let their alma mater be on that side. Ooh, they'll be beaming with happiness, picking that team all the way to the finish, clear eyes, full hearts. But if that team happens to win, they'll just go absolutely crazy. Like, to the point where they'll be taking at kneecaps. And if they do win, they'll be good on talking shit for at least another 4 years. Talking about, this is how I won. Or, shut the gym down. Don't nobody else need to play.
No.
But that kind of win where your alma mater wins you your bracket is pretty slim to none. About as slim as clearing a whole category in Jeopardy. With that, for Paige, for Chance, for Winston, and for Kolby, we are out of here.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.